Welcome to another day in Paradox. Today, I really want to talk about something that's of great importance to all of us, and that is love. And obviously, we all define that in very different ways. Experientially, I'll refer to C.S. Lewis because one of the books that he wrote in his great sort of theological / philosophical career is called The Four Loves, and he identified the essence of the terms. There were four terms in Greek that were translated in English to love, and the different relationships that those mechanize. I would encourage anybody to read the book. I'm not going to go into defining it, but understanding that even the translations of it from ancient texts, love has sort of many faces and many behaviors. But what I want to talk about is our sort of cultural mechanism towards creating an idea of perfection, and that's the quote unquote thing we love, or that's, if things were this, then we would love. And that is just a farce. Right? The paradox here is that we tend to love people and we tend to love things not because of their perfection, but in fact, it's their imperfections that become most endearing, right? The dent on the front of that truck, the limp that grandfather had, the coarse way that certain interactions took place in certain relationships. It's not to say, again, that trauma or problems can't exist in relationships as a result of imperfections. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the fact that when we approach life with gratitude, with true gratitude, and this is something, and I refer to Peterson a lot because I think he is speaking to modern people in ways that no one else has had the courage to speak to modern people. When we approach life with gratitude, we are acknowledging the fact that things aren't perfect, but life is still good. And it's good in general. And it's good even for those who are greatly suffering. And I've talked about suffering in previous episodes. Suffering is this weird thing that even biologically we understand that we create some level of pain in order to even build our own muscles. Right? We have to tear them. And I've talked about that already, so I won't go into that deeply. But understanding that pain is this inherent biological part of growth, and therefore it must be a part of our psychological growth. It's certainly a part of our relational growth. And the idea of life in and of itself as something to be grateful for, in spite of all the suffering, is something in which we are able to envision a better life than the one today by making a sacrifice of some sort, i.e., enduring pain, i.e., enduring imperfection, right? This is the Christian ethos. The mechanism of God in flesh was the life of Jesus Christ, representing the idea of perfection being destroyed physically, beaten, brutalized, murdered, just absolutely dismantled. And nevertheless, gratitude. Nevertheless, forgiveness. That was the evidence of imperfection being the object of our affection. Christ was the evidence of that. We're not perfect, but we're still good. Gratitude is the only thing that helps us see that. We can't argue our way to that. We can't scientifically prove that. We can only achieve, quote unquote, goodness through being grateful in spite of our imperfection. Sam Watkins, a Civil War soldier, speaking of his general, said, "General Johnston, we privates loved you because you made us love ourselves. And that wasn't because of perfection. You make someone love themselves when you are endeared to them in spite and perhaps even because of their imperfections."